Welcome to Dependable Flame, where we explore vintage petrol lighters, ashtrays, tobacconana, and other useful mechanisms. Make yourself at home. Today we are going to clear the flint tube in this Brown & Bigelow Windmaster Remembrance lighter. We've had a few of these on the channel recently. Really cool old petrol lighters that are definitely worth being repaired and being used or added to your collection. There was a bunch of powdered, degraded flint. Somebody had stored flint down here under the felt pad, and it had turned to dust and just permeated everything. I basically beat it all out as best I could because I still do not have my Briggs & Stratton air compressor working. They sent me a motor, which I put on it and replaced, but then the switch broke. So it does me no good without a switch, which I have left several messages at Alton Industries, which is who services those. I assume that's who Briggs & Stratton contracted to build them. So we're going to go ahead and clear this flint tube. You can see that it comes up a little bit short when we measure and judge by how far that our drill bit will reach into the tube. And you don't want to put a ton of pressure on there right off the bat, and you can see that broke through real quick. Sort of felt soft and then gave and crushed, and then we were dealing with powdered flint from that point forward. And something that you'll want to be careful of, which I was not before I started this video, which was covering up the area if I had anything important down there. Normally I clear this out. I came in today and just started making videos, started repairing lighters, and didn't clear my table. So you're going to see that I put that household disinfectant cloth down just to cover up so I'm not getting the flint dust all over everything else. And then we will remove it when we're done working with this drill bit in the flint tube. There we're really not doing any kind of pressure at all, just spinning that around just to try to go side to side, bouncing those sharp edges of the bit off against that wall. Like I said, no pressure, just kind of spinning it around in there to shave off the old flint that might still be clinging to the walls of that tube. So we're going to get that tube. Here I am again at a disadvantage because of not having an air compressor, and it's really driving me crazy. I bought it in the fall of 2020. Have used it for nothing but just an air gun here around the shop. Took it outside to air up tires on my vehicle. Well, it's been a couple of months ago now, a month and a half ago, and it went out. That's just not what I would expect when I'm buying an air compressor. I would expect a lot longer life than a year and a half, especially out of a Briggs & Stratton product, which typically get good reviews and are built well. So we're going ahead and using our disinfectant wipe there to get some of the flint dust debris off of the file wheel. This file wheel doesn't just spin, it's kind of stiff in there. And some lighters are like that. They don't necessarily have to just spin freely when there's not any pressure on them. They just have to move when you get ready to strike the flint. So we get our flint back down in there, and then I got a little bit confused here. I've got too many flint springs. I got all those laying over there for the park that I'm going to be working on. We're going to put the new, well, new to us, newer, not as contaminated. It had been bled into with some kind of blue dye or color, but that doesn't appear to me that that will affect the way that it functions at all. And it isn't as unsightly to me as the dirt and flint dust and the way that it had contaminated. the other felt pad. So we get that flint grooved before we got it tightened all the way down. Now we've got it tightened all the way down. It's still striking as it should. We'll get our wick into position and bloomed out at the top. I don't know if I've ever made a specific video about that and about why, but that is something that I do every time that I re-wick a lighter. At least try to, if the wick will, and all the wicks that I use will typically do that. The Ronson ones, Imco with the wire lead, and then the copper braided type. You could see how that wadding still looked a little bit contaminated, and it was dirty. I'm trying to leave it as original as possible, and I overfueled it here, so now I'm going to have to shake that out, which, see, we got that taken care of. But trying to leave it as original as possible. This is a lighter that I'm going to sell, whether that be in one of the HDSA 100% for charity penny start auctions that we run 3 of each month. That would be my guess. But it could just show up in our store as well. It's a very clean insert, and it was brand new. It just was failed by the flint in it that had turned to dust, and well, some of it had turned to dust, some of it was concrete, and it dirtied it up a little bit and rendered it inoperable. But we have fixed that, or at least if we can get it fueled correctly. It may take a moment here as I'm trying to get better at not overfilling them every time, which means that sometimes I might need to let the lighter rest for a minute and sit there and let the fuel settle, which it doesn't help then when I pull the slipcase off and hold the insert upright like I was there, as I was trying to let that fuel run down into the lighter, let gravity take it toward the top, holding it upside down. But really, I think it was just a matter of letting the vapors collect. Here I'm taking another look. Yeah, see, that doesn't look near as bad. Looks a little bit unsightly with the bluish color, but not near as bad as it would have looked with all that dusky flint dust color in there. And it lights up and looks like it may even be a little over full the way that flame licked to the back. That's a pretty simple repair, just cleaning out that flint tube. Now we'll see how well this wick and old wadding holds up. Until next time.